Hello, in this recording, I would like to show how we can build data checks in variable pay worksheets, which can be very useful at the beginning of a variable pay cycle before sending out the worksheets to the planners when we're still in the process setup step where all the worksheets are under compensation administrator and the administrator of the cycle opens up executive review access to HR to validate the data. Since variable pay uses an assignment logic where we can see all the assignment the employee had during the year that are here. So for example, for Claire, we click on view details, we could see 3 different assignments here. But the assignments can have different data in them. There can be a change of bonus target percent, a change of bonus plan, and there's a way that we can easily consolidate all this, not by showing the exact values of each assignment. That would be very complicated because basically variable pay is built to retrieve as many assignments as there are changes on salary, on target bonus percent, and the connection between the summary level here and the assignments is a little bit limited. But there is a way that we can build these data checks that I want to demo, do some testing today, and show how it's all built. So the purpose of this, like I said, is to make the work of HR and maybe managers as well easier when validating the data before launching a cycle. So these columns that we see here, they're only visible to administrators in HR. If we were to send this worksheet, right now I'm in the worksheet view, if I were to send it to the next step, to the planner, the manager wouldn't see it necessarily. In this case, it's only for HR. So let me do some testing. So we're going to take Claire because she has several assignments. As we can see, we have a count of how many assignments that were retrieved from Employee Centrals for the profile for Claire's profile. And we're going to go to the employee history. So we can duplicate here and navigate to the template, to the employee history. And make some changes directly in the employee history of Claire. And so we can see here she has 3 assignments. She has a target bonus percent change in the fiscal year, yes. Salary change in fiscal year, no. Change of bonus plan during fiscal year, no. So we're going to change this data, this one to no, this one to yes, this one to yes. And see how it automatically calculates and flags the right value. So let's go ahead and identify the records for Claire. And so we said we wanted to change this to no, so no target bonus percent change. So in this particular case, we're going to put this value back to 5. That would be the fastest out of all the 3 records she has. And then salary. Salary change in fiscal year, no, so we want that to be yes. And so we're going to say 59,000. 60,000. And then the last one was change of bonus plan during fiscal year. Okay, so this one, we're going to take this bonus plan here and put it on the last record as if she got a promotion. Update selected. Employee history record saved successfully. Now we want to calculate bonus. That's a mandatory step here. And wait until the job is completed to test. Okay, it's completed. So all we have to do now is just refresh here, reload. So we're gonna check here. So now we can see no, yes, and yes. So that's a demo of how it's working. So now let me show how it's all built, how it can be built. That'll be a good way to demo the interaction in variable pay between the assignment levels and the entry level. So the first step is to create this type of column here to count the number of assignments. So the formula, it's an amount field, the formula is 1. So anytime a record gets retrieved from EC, when we launch the worksheet, every record value is 1. And then we roll this up. From here, we create the same column in the data check section of the entry level. In number of assignments here, which is the same format, that's really important. They have to be in the same type of column and the same format as well. We can see here that we aggregate the field, the assignment level custom field called ALCF record count. ALCF means assignment level custom field, and that's how I differentiate them. The ones that I create at the assignment level, in their ID, I say ALCF and in the name as well, to just make sure I'm not I don't confuse in any formulas between them. So that would be the first one that we saw where we see the number of assignments. Then we have to, let's take an example for the target bonus percent, for example. So for target bonus percent, we need, let's start from the assignment. It always starts from the assignment. So the first one we need is a column that's going to import the value for target bonus percent from the standard variable pay employee history background element, so that we can then use it in calculation. So this one, the way it's built is we create the column here, then we save, we give it a column type, we save it, and then we have to work directly in the XML. That's something that for EC integrated variable pay template is not available for us to do directly in the admin UI. So we need someone with provisioning access, or if we know how to do it, we can then make the change. And I'll send a link at the bottom of this recording on how to make this import of values from the background element. It's actually documented in a blog that I wrote called 3 Key Configuration Setups in Variable Pay. It's the number 3 here, control assignment details visibility with assignment level custom field. So this explains how we can import in an assignment level custom field the value of a standard column of the background element by using adding these two fields. Import key, then the ID of the standard column from the background element, and then import source is always DM. So I'll skip that part here. I'll save some time on since it's all explained here on how to import this value. What's important is to always remember that we need to use the same type of column than the type of column that was configured in the standard background element. Once we have this here, we need to create another column that's going to say, take the ID from this column, put it here, multiply it by 1 divided by 1. The reason for that is purely technical. It's based on how the product works. We basically need to add a calculation here so that we can then aggregate it at the entry level later. If we don't do this, if we just simply take the ID of this column we imported, or if we try to aggregate at the entry level directly the value from here, it's not going to work. So we have to do a column for that purpose. And then the last one, actually these are the only two at the assignment level. Once we have these only two here, then we can just look at the design at the entry level. We aggregate the values of target percent by creating a column at the entry level, and then just like for the number of assignments, we aggregate the values. So aggregating means that it's going to sum all the values from all the assignments. So if you've got a first assignment where the target bonus percent is 5, a second it's 10, and a third it's 15, that's going to do 10 plus 5, 25, plus 5, 30. That's what we're going to get there. And here, this is one of the most important pieces of the design. What we simply do in this column is called last target bonus percent. And what this really is it's a way that you can paste the ID of the column in which you retrieve the bonus percent for this assignment only. And this will always give us the value of the last assignment, the top of stack value from like the closest assignment with which start date is the closest from the end of the program. So that's what I mean by top of stack. So I call it the last target bonus percent. So if you had beginning of the year 5, then 10, then 15, then it will always give you 15. If another person has 7, 8, 9, by doing this setup, we're always going to get 9. We always get the top of stack value. And using this logic, now that we have the sum of all the target percents of all the assignments here, and we know we always have the latest value of the last assignment here, all we have to do is this formula. If the last target bonus percent multiplied by the number of assignment is equal to the value which is the sum of all the target bonus percents in the year, then there is no change in the fiscal year. If otherwise, yes. So it's just math, right? If you do 15 times 3, which is what is being done here in the example I used, 5, 10, 15. If you do 15 times 3 and it's equal to what we get in this field, which is the sum of all the target assignments, then it means the value didn't change. It's just pure math. And so that's how it works, pretty straightforward. And then it's the same thing for salary, exactly the same. For bonus, it's a little bit different because it's a text value, right? If we go back to the edit employee history, we're going to see here that contrarily to these two, here we have a text. So what we do is first, let's go back to design worksheet. So what we do is first we assign a value for each of the bonus plans. So first, sorry, we import the value from, just like for the others, from the standard column of the variable pay employee history background element. So that doesn't change. Oh, sorry, I should have worked at the assignment level. It's always assignment first and then entry. So we build this first and then we can build the entry level. So I should have started here. So we import as a string because string means text. So in the source background element, we defined it as a text format. So we need to respect the format. We import it here from the succession data model where the variable pay standard table is. And once we have it here, what we want to do is use the ID defined here to do an if-then rule that's going to give them give each value an identical a different number. And one way to make sure that a suite of number is never the same. So instead of using, if I used 1 and then here 2 without the decimals, there would be some times when it's the math wouldn't work because well, that's just my experience. It wouldn't work. There would be some issues, and the checks we do at the entry level wouldn't always be true. But by doing this logic, where we have one is 1.10, the other is 2.01, 3.10, 4.01. So you always go to the full number for a different value, and then you add either 0.01 or 0.10, you never get the same value. You can multiply it by 30, 40, it's always going to be different. And then otherwise 0. Once we have this, so let's see, we have a type amount. Once we have this, we go to the entry level and we aggregate these values from that we gave to each bonus plan value in this column. So we can see the aggregate is here. Once we have that, we also want to take the latest value, the bonus plan number, I call it, from the last assignment, using the same logic than the other ones. And where it's a little different here is, and I'm not too sure why, to be honest, I've tried to use two numbers in the formulas that I was inserting directly here, but you have, contrarily to the other ones, where we have built the check directly in this column called salary change in fiscal year. We had this. For this design with text, we have to use an additional column which simply does last bonus plan number times number of assignments in an amount format, and then so in a sort of intermediary column here, and then reference this column in our check in the formula. No, otherwise yes. And that summarizes the design. All the columns you don't need that are technical, we can make them fully hidden with field-based permission, and only the one we need to show, we can adjust here so that they're only visible to HR. So we would have to create a new role in the field-based permission in settings, and then in here for HR managers, or that's the standard hierarchy. We could use RBP groups otherwise, like dynamic groups that we created from actions for all plans, and then reference them here. And then once they're checked here and then saved, then they start showing on at the columns level in Column Designer. I can do an example here. If I select HR manager and I save, automatically in design worksheet, I will start seeing HR manager. It will be on by default for everybody, so it's important that we just go ahead and remove visibility to things they shouldn't be seeing. But in this case, it's fine because, I mean, except for the very technical columns, yeah, so you can see here it's enabled by default. So it's fine. We would actually want to only do we want to do this. Actually, we don't want them to see the ones that are hidden, so we can either fully hide them through this, which takes over field-based permission, or just hide them again here from HR. Yep, that is it. Thank you very much. Bye.